Welcome on back to East Texas. Now I'm Hannah Johnson. How you doing? How you feeling? We were just talking to our very own Andrew Turpinning before your midday newscast about all the different events going on this weekend, but there's one we didn't talk about. In fact, the organizer for the event, the mastermind behind it all, is actually joining us here in our East Texas Now newsroom to talk more about Glopple Con coming to Henderson. This is Matt Cole. You're actually the creator of the Glopple comic, and that's kind of where this all started, right?
Yes, that's right. Yeah, so Glopple started back in, actually it's 20 years this year for the character. I created the character with my uncle Eric Fredericks, the co-creator, back in 2006. And we started Glopple Comic Con last year, and I wanted to just bring a really cool all-ages event that was safe for kids, that was just a lot of fun and enjoyable for the whole family, so that's what I wanted to do.
So the goal was just being family friendly, and I'm sure that reflects in the comic that you created.
Yes, that's correct. So my whole goal in everything that I do for my comics, from writing to creating the characters with the artist, is a positive message, values, family friendly, and that's what all Glopple's about. That's what Glopple Comic Con is about, for the whole family, where everybody can enjoy something for fun.
What made you want to go that route? Are you a big family guy yourself, or is this just something you saw in like the world of comics that you're like, you know what, we need more of this?
I'm really glad you brought that up, because my passion is children's literature. I'm a huge Mr. Rogers fan, reading Rainbow. And in every comic that I do, I always want to have a value or a moral behind the story.
Right.
I don't know if you remember that back in the 90s and 80s.
Yes, who doesn't remember Mr. Rogers?
That's right. Just a value behind a moral of the story is what I really try to do. It's always about positivity. Anyone can be a hero, be a helper, help somebody around you.
I love that. So a positive attitude, a positive perspective in each story, geared to, I mean, honestly, I think any encouragement to get kids reading is something I think we all win, right? Because knowledge is power, and you go after it. So when you created the character 20 years ago, how did the first Comic-Con come to be, or the Glopple comic, Glopple Comic Con. There we go.
Yeah. I know it's a little tongue twister. So it started out as a self-published children's book back in like 2008.
Okay.
And we're talking a 20-year journey, okay? And it went from a children's book to a comic book back in 2021. And then 2022, I got picked up by a national publisher called Legends Publishing. They actually found me as a writer, and then now I'm published through KeenSpot, which that got published back last year. So what I wanted to do is, I've been to events all across the country, from Baltimore to New York to Vegas to all over the country, to Dallas Fan Expo. And what I wanted to do for Henderson, that's my hometown, I wanted to bring a really cool event for the hometown of Henderson, but to make it for all ages, where kids can come and enjoy it, where there's no nudity, there's no NSFW content, it's safe. It's all for kids, that's right. And I want to make it very affordable. It's $10 a ticket, and kids 6 and under get in for free. So I just wanted to make sure that it's fun and safe for everybody.
I love that, because I know, like other Comic Cons, you go in, sometimes you don't know what aisle you're going to be walking down, and you have the little one with you, and you want to avoid any kind of unavoidable incidences where you can avoid that. I think that's awesome.
Yep.
So I love that you mentioned Henderson as your hometown, and that's where you wanted to go. So when you're creating this event, you're, inviting in the vendors for here and there, are you thinking about you as a little kid coming into this event? Is that how you're picturing in your mind, or is it like one of your own, or a nephew and niece that you're kind of picturing in your mind as the perfect audience member?
That's a great question. I'm a dad, okay? And I'm a big kid at heart, and I always want to make sure that, again, I'm an advocate for children's literature.
Right.
I'm an advocate for, especially the medium of comic books. That's how I got into really reading, along with some other books as a kid. But absolutely, I want to make sure that all the vendors, we have vendors that are going to be selling antiques, arts and crafts, soap, comic books, toys. I mean, it's a ton of different things. Our guests have some really cool guests. But I want to make sure they're all geared towards kids, where kids can come and enjoy it and have fun. And it's kind of a big comic book convention feel, but in a smaller town. I want to bring it to, a smaller town where other people can afford it. That's the other thing, is going to big comic book conventions. It can be very, very expensive.
Right.
So I want to make sure it's affordable, and that most anybody can can come and enjoy our guests and have just a great time. You know,
Right. And I know you mentioned you've gone to them yourself, the bigger city
that's right.
cons where, it can be pricey. Have you ran into any kind of challenges putting this on in Henderson?
You know, it's I'm laughing because it takes anywhere from 4 to 6 months to put this event on. And what's funny is it's one day. It's
Yeah.
one day. So you're doing 4 to 6 months for one day, and it's a lot of work. But with our guests and with the vendors, I have some great sponsors. I think it's gonna pay off. I'm really excited about it.
What is one of the big key takeaways from the event itself that you're excited about sharing with everyone?
The biggest thing is this is to all the parents and grandparents that are watching. Okay, it is safe for kids. I want to make sure that the event is fun. That's why we have a Dragon Ball GT actress coming that if you're into anime, you're going to love it as well.
Oh, I love
I
that.
do want to say that if you are a cosplayer, we welcome cosplay. But again, we don't allow anything too revealing or
Right.
anything like that. It is for all ages and kids. That's what I'll make sure.
When you have someone who is dressed up, maybe they're unaware of the rules that you're setting because of the space you're trying to create. What is the system of like, oh, hey, sorry, we're not allowing this? What does that process look like to turn someone away in case those rules are broken?
Yeah, we will. I have a great team. I can't do this by myself.
Yeah.
I have a great team of volunteers. We will approach that person and just tell them, hey, this is what is happening, and this is what needs to be done. And again, I say this over and over, but my focus is for the little ones. It's for the kids that are coming in there that they can enjoy it without having anything like that. So, last year we did it. Our first year was last year. This is our second year. We didn't have any issues. I don't think we're going to have any issues this year. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's about positive environment. Anyone can be a hero. Help your neighbor, come and enjoy, get a comic book convention feel in a small hometown.
I know you mentioned some of the guests that you have coming up, and you also mentioned some of the different vendors. Are you going to have panels like any other con?
Yes, absolutely. We're going to have a Dragon Ball GT panel with Elise Bowman. She's my
Okay.
featured guest.
Okay.
So if you love anime, she's the voice of Pan, which is the granddaughter to Goku.
Okay.
So it's going to be a lot of fun. And then I'm going to do a panel about what is Glopple. What is Glopple? A lot of people are like, what is this guy right here?
Yes, exactly.
And then I plan on doing a Pooh Bear Adventures panel with my artist Tessa Rose. I just launched in March a brand new Pooh Bear Adventures comic worldwide. It has gone really, really big, and I'm really excited about that. I went back to the original 1926 manuscripts
Oh my goodness.
and brought them back for a whole new generation. I believe how the creators would want it. So we're going to do a Pooh Bear Adventures panel. So it's
so
going
like
to be
the handwritten illustrations and everything else?
yeah, so my artist, Tessa Rose, she's absolutely unbelievable. She does everything by hand painted, everything. And if you check that out, it's pretty cool. So
you just hit
we're
my heart chord a
Yeah.
little bit, because Winnie the Pooh was my go-to character, especially growing
Awesome.
up. So
yeah, so
okay.
Glopple,
yes,
it's
tell
about
me more about Glopple.
Yeah,
Yes.
Glopple is about a creation that Dr. Vinell created in Dallas, Texas. Dr. Vinell is a mastermind, and he's a scientist, okay? And he wanted to create a snack for kids to enjoy called Blueberry Glopples. Well, that wasn't good enough for his greed, and he wanted more power. He wanted an army of children to rule the world, right? So he goes to his laboratory, starts mixing different things together, and the mixture explodes.
Oh, very
And-
Powerpuff Girl style.
That's
Yes.
right, and he's created. So the Glopple has to make a monumental decision. Am I going to be a hero, or am I going to listen to my creator and be a villain? And again, my whole motto in everything I do is positivity is the best policy. Anyone can be a hero. You can be a hero to your staff at KLTV. You can be a hero to anybody at school. I went to Orr Elementary, had a great turnout, talked to over 500 children. And it's all about helping someone, being a helper. I think of Mr. Rogers when I say that. Mr. Rogers said that all the time, be a helper. Help
Yes.
somebody around you. And that's how you can be a hero. So that's what my whole theme is with Glopple. That's my whole theme around the comic book convention that I'm doing in Henderson at the Henderson Civic Center on this Saturday. And it's all about positivity.
I love that. Do you think the world needs more positivity? Is that why you're inspired to?
1,000%.
I love that. And you start with the kiddos, because they're the ones who are going to make it happen.
Yeah, that's right. I look at the literature today that's happening, and I just believe that there's so much power when a kid can read a comic.
Yes.
I don't care if it's a comic or a book or whatever it is. can really have a meaning behind it, And I just believe there needs to be more good in the world. There needs to be more value-oriented items that kids can read that will encourage them and be positive. So that's what I really work on hard.
I love that. Okay, so I believe we've touched base on quite a bit of information about the event. Is there anything that we haven't touched base on just yet? I want to kind of circle back to the time, the location, what people need to know ahead of even going in. So walk me through those details, date, time, what have you.
Yeah, so it's this Saturday at the Henderson Civic Center in Henderson, Texas, from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. I've been doing ads on Facebook. I've been talking to a lot of different people. And the biggest thing is if you want to skip the line,
yes,
go buy online. Okay.
You heard
go
it here.
to glopplecon.com and go buy the ticket online so you can show us beforehand. We can get you into the event as fast as we can. Last year we had a very smooth process. I don't think there's going to be any issues. There will be bag checks before you get into the building.
Okay.
Or right when you get in the building, we are going to check all bags. We're not going to allow any weapons of any kind, any real weapons. We want, again, this to be a safe event for everybody to enjoy.
Awesome. Awesome. Okay, so perfect. If anyone has any questions, if they want to reach out to you about what is this allowed, is this not, how can they reach out to you?
Sure, go to the website Glopple, Glopple con.com, and just click the contact us, and that goes directly to me. So I can reply to the email if you have any questions, anything like that.
Awesome. Are you working on anything else in the future?
Yes, there's a lot I'm working on in the comic book world. I just can't, I'm not at the liberty to share everything, but yeah, there's a lot of cool things going to be happening. Again, Pooh Bear Adventures has really changed my whole life. I was really nervous about that. Just to touch on that just real quick.
Yes,
I was really nervous about it because I didn't know, going back to those original, manuscripts and stories. I mean, Pooh Bear is a 100-year-old character.
Yeah.
And I was really nervous about that, but we have a lot of cool things happening there, a lot of cool things happening for Glopple next year, just a lot of really awesome stuff.
Was there any trademark issues when it came to Winnie the Pooh, or Pooh Bear in this case?
Yeah, yes and no, not really, because it's public domain since 2021.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
yes,
wow.
yeah. So Winnie the Pooh is public domain. You can go back to the original books and do all of that kind of stuff. But the thing that you can't do is make sure he's not in the red shirt, okay? Because that's Disney. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
But yeah, I just had to be careful. But other than that,
the stories are still the same. The message is still there.
That's right.
Be a friend.
Yep, that's right. Just like Glopple.
Just like Glopple. Anything else you want to leave us with before we wrap things up here?
No, just I'm very excited. Again, if you can arrive a little early. Again, it's 11 to 6 on this Saturday at the Henderson Civic Center in Henderson, Texas. And it's going to be a lot of fun for the entire family. $10 a ticket. Kids 6 and under get in free, and I just think it's going to be a great, great time. Bring the kiddos. Looks like it may rain, but bring them inside.
Yes.
We're going to have food vendors there too.
Perfect.
Got some barbecue and stuff like that, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Thank you, Matt, for coming in.
Thank you so much for having me.
I think your joy already is kind of like spreading in the newsroom already. Thank you so much.